Welcome, warriors of the unseen, architects of the quiet storm, and masters of the invisible threads that shape the world without the world ever noticing. Today, I don't just speak to you, I speak into the marrow of your being, the part that knows more than they will ever comprehend, the part that observes and waits, the part that doesn't flinch when the unthinking stumble and falter. You have always known. You have always understood. And now, they are waking up to the truth you carried effortlessly while they fumbled in the shadows of their own illusions. Do not soften this moment. Do not water down the realization that every glance, every word, every hesitation they gave betrayed their ignorance. You walked through rooms of doubt with the calmness of one who sees the chessboard 10 moves ahead, and yet you were silent. You did not announce your awareness. You did not need to. Because knowledge, true knowledge, carries its own weight, and when wielded correctly, it is invisible to the untrained eye but unmistakable to the discerning soul. They see the results now, but they cannot see the labor behind it, the quiet mastery, the years of observation, the patience of one who knows that time reveals all truths. And now they feel small, not in a fleeting sense, but in a deep, unsettling way that will echo in their decisions for years to come. Every step you took was a demonstration of power that they could not touch, a rhythm they could not match. They laughed while you planned, they boasted while you measured, they rushed while you waited, and now they are left to confront the mirror you held up to their own inadequacy. The realization is sharp. The sting is precise, because they underestimated what they could not see. They assumed you were like them, limited, reactive, blind to the deeper patterns of life. But you were never like them. You existed in a plane where clarity was not a gift, but a natural state, where foresight was not an effort, but a habit, where knowledge was not flaunted, but embedded in every decision you made, every silence you held, every unspoken truth you let linger until the weight of it pressed down upon them. Feel the satisfaction of knowing that their discomfort is proof of your supremacy in this quiet, merciless game of life. They wrestle with questions you solved years ago. They stumble over mistakes you foresaw and avoided. They seek answers in chaos you had already tamed. And yet, you do not gloat. You do not need to. Their discomfort is the reflection of your discipline. Their realization is the echo of your foresight. They feel stupid now, and it is not a fleeting emotion. They feel it in their bones. Because nothing teaches humility like facing someone who is always ahead, someone who always knew, someone whose calm certainty cannot be shaken by their noise or their envy. You see, there is a subtle art in knowing it all and remaining still. The world rewards the loud, the flashy, the impulsive, but true power resides in the patient observer, in the silent strategist, in the one who lets the storm rage while mapping the winds, currents, and hidden traps beneath. You are that person. Every misstep they made was not just a lesson for them. It was a confirmation of your quiet omnipresence in the field of reality. You knew it, you predicted it, you stayed steady while they crashed against the walls of their own hubris. And now, when they finally lift their heads from the wreckage of their assumptions, they see you. They see the calm, the precision, the inevitable outcome that you orchestrated without a word. They feel stupid, yes, but that feeling will linger like a shadow. It will follow them into decisions, into meetings, into conversations, into choices where they wish they had listened, where they wish they had paid attention, where they realized too late that someone always knew while they pretended to see. Do not pity them, do not soften the truth for them. Let the starkness of reality be their teacher. Let them wrestle with the fact that someone else's certainty and insight outpace their own ambition, their own intellect, their own vanity. This is not arrogance. This is recognition of the natural order that knowledge without exposure is superior to ignorance with noise. You do not need applause, validation, or recognition. The universe, in its cruel honesty, will grant it through the discomfort of others. Every failed attempt, every faltering decision, every miscalculation they make in the future is a testament to your foresight. And the more they struggle, the more clarity you retain. The more they stumble, the more power you quietly accumulate. You must understand the beauty of this truth. It is not enough to be right. It is not enough to see clearly. The ultimate mastery lies in allowing others to reveal their own deficiencies, while you remain untouchable, unshaken, unwavering. They will spend their lives chasing shadows you have already illuminated. They will question themselves, their instincts, their judgments, and every moment of doubt they endure is a tribute to the calm certainty you wield effortlessly. They feel stupid now, but their ignorance is ongoing. Their realizations will be slow, painful, and inevitable. You, on the other hand, are free. Free to act with precision. Free to decide without hesitation. Free to remain the storm they cannot predict, the mind they cannot understand, the presence that unsettles without effort. In every interaction, in every boardroom, in every silent glance they throw, remember that your awareness is the sharpest tool you possess. They might speak louder, they might act faster, they might pretend to be wise, but you see the undercurrents they cannot comprehend. You navigate the chaos they create and emerge unscathed, untangled, unbroken. And this is the essence of your supremacy, the quiet, unassailable knowledge that you are already 10 steps ahead while they flail in uncertainty. They feel stupid now because they are finally confronting the reality they refused to acknowledge for so long. The reality that someone among them always knew, always understood, always planned while they pretended to lead. They now stumble in a world you already mastered, forced to contend with the very truths they ignored, mocked, or dismissed. Every decision they make, every plan they execute, is colored by the shadow of your foresight. They do not realize it, but you have always been the axis around which reality turns, the quiet center of inevitable outcomes, the unacknowledged architect of every circumstance they now struggle to navigate. And in this, there is not just satisfaction, there is triumph. Not loud, not boisterous, but deep, calm, permanent. The kind of triumph that resonates in silence, in reflection, in the steady rhythm of a mind that cannot be shaken. Consider for a moment the weight of knowing, while others stumble blindly. Imagine the patience it takes to observe chaos and understand its patterns, to see the errors before they manifest, to hear the lies before they are spoken, to feel the weakness before it is acted upon. This is not mere intelligence. This is a kind of mastery that exists beyond ordinary comprehension. And you possessed it. You carry it still. They are only now awakening to the gap between your vision and their blind ambition. They are only now realizing that their noise, their bluster, their hurried attempts to dominate were meaningless in the presence of your quiet certainty. They feel stupid because the truth is unavoidable, and the truth is, you were always beyond them. The beauty of this situation lies not only in their belated recognition, but in the power it grants you. You see, knowledge without acknowledgement is a force unlike any other. It is not dependent on applause, on accolades, on recognition from the small-minded who cannot comprehend the depth of its presence. It exists independently, as permanent as a shadow in the night, as inevitable as the turning of the tide. And now their discomfort, their embarrassment, Their sudden awareness of inadequacy becomes a living proof of what you always knew, that patience, foresight, and silent mastery conquer the loudest pretensions. They feel stupid because they are confronted with a mirror reflecting every misstep they made in your absence, every word they misjudged, every move they assumed would remain hidden from your perception. They will try to recover. They will attempt to erase their embarrassment with excuses, explanations, rationalizations. But it is too late. The moment has passed. You were there, always, and they were blind. Their attempts to rewrite history, to cover their ignorance, will crumble in the presence of your memory, your evidence, your unyielding awareness. And in watching them flounder, in seeing them grapple with truths they should have seen long ago, you gain something they will never understand: the serenity of someone who controls reality, not through force, but through understanding. This is the ultimate power, the unshakable authority that arises from knowing the rules, while others ignore them, that moves silently while others shout, that prevails through patience while others rage. Do not waste energy on their explanations, their apologies, their awkward attempts to recover dignity. These are the acts of those who are still learning the lessons you mastered long ago. Let them fumble. Let them hesitate. Let them speak, miscalculate, and falter. Each misstep reinforces the knowledge that you have always been the observer, the strategist, the one who quietly orchestrates outcomes with precision that is invisible yet undeniable. They feel stupid now because they have been forced to confront the reality they ignored for far too long, that someone else's clarity, foresight, and understanding exceeds their own, and that no amount of effort can erase the years of insight you carry effortlessly. This is the moment to recognize the aftermath. When the world seems to wobble under the weight of their errors, you remain steady, untouchable, undeniable. They feel stupid because they are finally catching up with the truth you have known all along, a truth they cannot unsee, cannot undo, cannot outrun. Their awareness of their inadequacy is not a fleeting embarrassment. It is a profound, unsettling realization that they were never in control in the first place. You were always ahead. You always knew. And now, the universe itself seems to whisper the confirmation of your foresight, echoing through the very failures they can no longer deny. There is a power in patience that they will never understand. They chased results, recognition, acknowledgement. They sought to prove themselves in noise, in flash, in spectacle. But you moved quietly, deliberately, with the confidence that comes from knowing not just what is visible, but what lies beneath the surface. And now, the outcome is undeniable. They feel stupid because they mistook haste for skill, sound for substance, presence for mastery. They mistook activity for control. And you, who have always seen the currents beneath the surface, who have always known the end while they struggled with the beginning, are unshaken. You exist beyond their limitations, their misconceptions, their failures. Think of the subtle lessons you have already imparted without speaking a word. Every pause, every calculated silence, every measured glance, every moment of inaction has been an education for those who refuse to pay attention. They feel stupid now because they are finally forced to acknowledge that the world does not reward noise, that action without awareness is meaningless, that certainty without understanding is temporary, and that wisdom, patience, and observation are the invisible weapons of those who shape outcomes, while others flounder. Your mastery is proof that life does not bend to the loud, the reckless, or the impatient. It bends to those who see, who calculate, who endure, and who act when the time is undeniably right. And here lies the intoxicating reality. You are untouchable because your power is not performative. It does not need recognition. It does not seek applause. It does not bend to the understanding of the small-minded who are only now grasping the gap between your certainty and their confusion. They feel stupid now because the consequences of their ignorance are undeniable. And those consequences exist regardless of their perception of you. They are confronting a truth too late, a realization too painful, a clarity they cannot unlearn, that someone was always ahead, someone always saw through the noise, someone always understood the weight of every choice while they scrambled in shadows. That someone is you. Let this settle within you. The world is a battlefield of perception, and those who cannot see the full map are destined to stumble. They feel stupid now because they were never equipped to perceive the layers of reality that you navigate effortlessly. They assumed parity where there was none. They assumed knowledge where there was only pretense. And when their assumptions collided with the truth of your awareness, they discovered, too late, the starkness of their miscalculation. And in that collision, you do not need to raise your voice, point a finger, or claim victory. Victory is already yours because it exists in the quiet spaces between their errors, in the unseen decisions you made long before they even realized there was a choice to make. Every interaction moving forward will carry this unspoken power. Every glance they cast, every judgment they form, every attempt to regain composure will be colored by the memory of your foresight. They feel stupid because the echoes of your knowledge linger, creating a tension they cannot resolve. And here is the true mastery. You do not need to remind them, confront them, or correct them. Your presence alone, calm and unwavering, suffices to maintain the authority that they cannot touch, the understanding that they cannot match, the certainty they cannot question. They feel stupid because the universe has placed them in a position where they cannot escape the truth they ignored. And you, ever steady, ever prepared, ever knowing, remain untouchable. Consider the long-term impact of this realization on their psyche. This is not fleeting embarrassment. This is a subtle, enduring awareness that they have been operating below the level of comprehension you mastered years ago. Every future decision, every attempt at influence, every act of competition is now filtered through the memory of being outpaced, outmaneuvered, and outthought by someone whose awareness transcends theirs. They feel stupid because they have internalized a truth too late, that life rewards those who see clearly, plan deliberately, and act decisively. You are the embodiment of that truth, and they are left grappling with the consequences of ignoring it for so long, to something deeper than the noise around you. You trusted the voice inside that said, keep going, even when every sign told you to stop. And now, the same people who once ignored that voice in themselves see what happens when someone listens. That's why they feel small. That's why they feel foolish, because deep down, they know they had the same chance, but they looked away. So hold your head high, not with pride, but with peace. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You just need to keep becoming the proof that staying true to your vision is the greatest power a person can have. They realized too late that the person they doubted was the person they should have believed in. And that's a lesson they'll carry long after the applause fades. There is a moment that comes after every long battle when you finally realize that everything you went through was not punishment, but preparation. Every failure that made them laugh, every mistake that made you question your worth, every lonely night that whispered, maybe they were right. All of it was the fire shaping you into what you were meant to become. They thought you were lost, but you were only hidden. They thought you were confused, but you were learning the language of persistence. And now, as they stand there with their heads lowered, pretending they never doubted you, pretending they always believed, you can see it in their eyes. The quiet regret that comes from underestimating someone who refused to break. There's a power that comes from being doubted. It's the kind of power that can't be taught, can't be bought, can't be faked. It's the energy that builds in the heart of the misunderstood, in the soul of those who keep walking through mockery and isolation. You didn't just survive their doubt, you thrived on it. You learned how to walk in the dark, how to believe without applause, how to trust your own voice when the world was too loud to hear reason. And now that same world watches you, searching for a way to explain how you did it. They'll call it timing, they'll call it fate, they'll call it luck, because it's easier to call it that than to admit they were wrong about you. But you know the truth. You know how much it cost. You know the nights when your heart hurt from carrying dreams that felt too heavy. You know the mornings when you had to fight the same doubt that others tried to feed you. You know the tears that never left your eyes because you were too busy building something no one else could see. That's the truth. They can't take away from you. They can take credit for your ideas. They can copy your work. They can mimic your confidence. But they will never own the journey that forged you. You see, when they doubted you, they thought they were protecting themselves. People fear what they don't understand, and your belief in yourself threatened them. Your refusal to accept limits made them uncomfortable. They needed you to be wrong so they could feel safe. And when you refused to break, when you refused to shrink, they had no choice but to face themselves. That's why they feel foolish now. Not because you won, but because your victory exposed their fear. You showed them what happens when someone believes in something long enough to outlast everyone's disbelief. You showed them what happens when faith becomes action. And now they whisper your name like a myth. They say, "You always had something about you," as if that something didn't cost you everything. They say, "We knew you'd make it," as if they didn't watch you struggle. And do nothing. But let them say what they need to say. Their words don't define your truth. The truth is carved in the scars you earned, in the choices you made when no one was clapping, in the strength that grew in silence. You didn't make it because they believed in you. You made it because you believed in yourself when no one else would. And that's what they'll never understand. That belief is a weapon, not a loud one, not a shiny one, but a quiet one that cuts through years of doubt and noise. Belief doesn't need to be proven to anyone. It only needs to be lived. You lived it. You embodied it. You became it. And now, as they stand there trying to figure out how you did it, they realize that what looked like arrogance was discipline, what looked like luck was effort, and what looked like madness was vision. So don't waste a single second trying to explain yourself. You don't owe anyone an apology for being ahead of your time. You don't owe them comfort for the pain of their realization. Let them sit with it. Let them learn from it. That's not cruelty. That's balance. You spent years learning how to stand alone. Now it's their turn to learn how it feels to be left behind. That's how growth works. That's how truth restores itself. What they don't know is that your silence now is louder than their laughter ever was. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove. Your presence speaks. Every success, ever,